We've got an interesting topic for you tonight with CBS 21 Next, talking about the Department of Homeland Security, or ICE, purchasing a warehouse in Berks County. So that's about an hour away from the capital in Pennsylvania. Let's bring in Alex Thill, who has been getting answers about what this facility is going to be used for and then how people are reacting in that area. So what do we know so far about this warehouse purchase? Let's start with that.
Yeah, Candace. Hi, everybody. So what we do know, we have confirmed from our affiliate, CBS Philly. ICE responded to them in terms of this new warehouse that you're looking at right there. This is on Mountain Road in Berks County, Upper Burn Township. And ICE confirmed to CBS Philly that they did purchase this for $87 million. That funding they got from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. And they got that funding and are going to be using this for a detention center. And what they wrote was, I can actually give you a direct quote, was that they said that this new funding to expand detention spaces was to, quote, keep these criminals off American streets before they are removed for good from our communities. So that is essentially what this space is going to be used for. We know that there's a variety of spaces that are being acquired, warehouse spaces across the country, but tonight we just focused on this one in Berks County.
Really interesting. Do we know who previously owned the warehouse or what it was being used for before it was sold to the government?
We do. So it did sit a little bit vacant, but it was owned by a real estate company that was looking to sell it, which is exactly what happened. So they purchased it from another company, and online sites listed as a state-of-the-art logistics center right now. So it has 40-foot high ceilings, about 70 loading docks, as you would expect a warehouse that's 67 acres to have, So it was owned by a real estate company that purchased it for $57 million. Now, we know that it was bought by ICE for $87 million. So that real estate company made about a $30 million profit off of this sale.
Wow. Okay, so how are people in that area reacting to this new detention center being in their neighborhood?
And that's an interesting question, and one thing that we really wanted to focus on, because as much as we hear reactions from all across the country, I really wanted to listen to the people who live next to this warehouse and hear their thoughts. And it is a predominantly Republican area. Driving around just next to the facility, we saw many Trump 2024 signs. And so, that was clear. And I spoke with people who have lived near here for their whole lives, 60 plus years.
Okay.
And a lot of them tell me that they are excited about the detention center, but then other people tell me that they're concerned about what the detention center could bring to the area. So a lot of them are worried that it will bring people who are protesting ICE to the facility. And this is a pretty small population here in Upper Burn Township. It's a rural community. So a lot of people are concerned it's going to bring a lot of attention here, and more people here, more infrastructure, more cars, more trucks, things like that. It's right off of I-78. So this is a pretty big hub that connects a bunch of major cities. So, it makes sense why ICE would purchase a warehouse in a location like this. They didn't confirm that those were the exact reasons why, but it does make sense that it would be in this area. So people are concerned about what that could bring. But what was interesting was there was less concern about what is actually going to happen inside the facility and more concern about what it could bring to the area.
How it's going to impact their way of living, their town. Yeah, all of that. Okay. And then I know you asked ICE some questions. What other questions did you ask, and what are you waiting to find out still?
So we do know, obviously confirmed, that it is going to be used for a detention center, but we don't know the specifics of that. It's a massive space, one of the biggest spaces that ICE has acquired so far since they've been a federal organization. So I wanted to know what specifically is going to be done in a space of this size. I also wanted to know why here in Berks County in Pennsylvania that this is happening. I also wanted to know when residents who live in the area can expect that this detention center will be in use, and if people can expect more ICE agents in the area. Naturally, if there's a warehouse that's going to be here, a lot of people are curious about what that means in terms of immigration enforcement troops. Are there going to be a lot more immigration enforcement officers patrolling the area? Is there going to be, a situation like how we've seen a lot of officers in Minnesota? Those were real questions that people who, even though they are Republican, had those concerns and wanted to know more. And those are things that we have not yet heard back from ICE about, but we do have those questions out to the department right now.
So we don't know at this time a set quote unquote start date or when this is going to be open or operational?
Not as of right now. And in fact, the township just learned about this on Monday. So this is a very recent sale. The township told me directly that they weren't informed about this sale. And I was doing some research. It's not a requirement that the federal government inform townships about purchasing buildings in areas. So it's not required, but if, the federal government is going to be doing business with the township, it is somewhat of an underlying unwritten rule, but it's not required by any means. But the township said that they didn't even realize that this purchase was happening until Monday, but that they also, they don't have any comment on this, and they're not cued into any plans in the future. So they also don't know really what's happening. And I've spoken to a woman, a representative for the Pennsylvania House of Democrats, and one thing that
I was about to ask about that.
Which was interesting, because one thing she expressed to me was that she hasn't heard from any people in Congress that they know what's going on, or that they've been cued in on any plans either. And so she said that to her was concerning. And one thing I want to highlight that she did tell me, this was a direct quote from her that you'll see tonight on CBS 21 if you watch the story.
And this is the Democratic representative for Berks County, correct?
For Berks County, yes.
Okay.
Again, keep in mind, Democratic. She said, pedophiles, rapists, murderers, pick them up, send them back to where they came from. I get that. I support that. So that's what she said to me. But what she also said was that she's concerned that that's not the only thing that's happening. And she's also concerned about the methods in which ICE is doing this. We've seen videos come out of Minneapolis and from across the country, and there's a lot of concern about force and how ICE is going in and conducting some of these arrests. So she was concerned about that, but she wanted to make it clear that she's on board with ridding the country of violent criminals.
Interesting. Yeah. And I know that at least in Minneapolis, and it sounds like it's supposed to happen throughout the country pending funding, there should be body cameras on ICE agents ASAP. So that will be interesting too, as some of the people who live near there are talking about, are we going to see more activity? Did anybody you spoke to tell you if they had seen any immigration and enforcement agents or anyone around that would represent the federal agency?
And I asked that to people living in the area, and people said they haven't seen any agents in the area, or that they weren't aware of any of that happening in the area. And one thing that most residents expressed to me was that this is a rural, quiet town, and something of this nature brings a lot of media attention. Obviously, we were there today. We're not the only news organization that's been covering this. And so a lot of people here are just more concerned about what it's bringing to the area. But, when I talked to people and asked them about specific ICE activity, nobody had seen anything here.
Okay. And it might just be, it will show up in a few months. So it'll be interesting to see how this progresses, and to see, hopefully ICE will get back to you with those questions you answered too. I think a big thing with all this is transparency. People just want answers. They want to know what's happening. They want to know the process that it's happening, so on and so forth, pointing to what the representative said for Berks County too. Alex, thanks for checking that out for us. We'll see you tonight at 10 and 11. And if you want to learn more about this and what Alex has found so far, we are posting information on our website on cbs21.com. So you can always let us know there if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. We also are on Facebook and X, and here on YouTube as well. So we'll keep you updated on this story, and let you know what else we find out as we continue to ask more questions and hopefully get more answers. That's it for tonight. I'm Candace Scalise for your CBS 21 Next.